This is Shutters Inc. with Bruce Williams and Glyn Lavender.
Hi and welcome to episode 553 of Shutters Inc. This is Bruce Williams from shuttersincpodcast.com, and joining me once again from Melbourne, Victoria, from creativephotoworkshops.com.au, it is Mr. Glyn Lavender. How are you, mate?
Me?
Yep, don't care. We've got to move on. Let's go. What's happening this week?
What
have you been up to in the last...
It's been
thing. 3 weeks. What have you been up to in the last 3 weeks?
Well, I've been coughing.
Oh, why?
I've had a cold for like 6 weeks. Coughing and spluttering and cannot stop bloody blowing my nose and... Yeah, and I've completely lost all sense of taste and smell. And there's some people say I've never had any taste, but no taste or smell whatsoever.
You got COVID.
Well, it's possible, I guess. I mean, I didn't test myself, but yeah, obviously something's gone. And
given that you never leave the house, it doesn't really matter.
Well, pretty much, yeah. Except dropping the kids at school. But, so I literally zero taste whatsoever.
Yeah, right.
To the point that I made
That's got to be good for weight loss.
Well, not... maybe. But I made a green chicken curry last night, Thai green chicken curry, which apparently was quite spicy. I couldn't even taste the heat. Oh, wow. Let alone the flavour.
The flavour, yeah, right.
Yeah, but not even any sense that it was a spicy dish. I mean, like zero.
Wow.
I can taste texture and temperature.
Yeah, right.
And that is it.
How bizarre.
So, not a lot of fun.
No.
Yeah, and like, I had ice cream the other day, and it was like, it's the weirdest thing, but it's got zero flavour. It's just cold and soft. Yeah, and that's all it is. It's like...
Wow.
It's nothing. Yeah, it's like, oh, this is not pleasant to eat. Yeah, so that's been a bit strange.
I hope it normalises soon.
Well, weeks of nothing, and I hear this can last for 6 or 8 months.
Wow!
So if you lose your sense of taste, it can take a long period of time. So that's not a lot of fun.
Okay, have you finished your secret squirrel? Oh, I've been up to lots, but have you finished your secret squirrel project?
I have finally... I finished the shooting. We've finished the image selections.
Yep.
It looks like, from what I can gather in the translation from Japanese to English, it looks like the other person who was supposed to be shooting hasn't come through with anything by the sounds of it, and so it looks like it's only my images they're going to be using.
Wow.
But that's if I'm reading what they're saying correctly, you know. Who knows? Yeah. And of course, as per usual, all the best images aren't being used.
Of course.
I don't know if I said this before or not, but okay, I was supposed to be shooting urban stuff, and fun in the city and all that kind of jibe.
Yep.
But I took a photo of a chicken. Right, and I sent it to them kind of as a joke.
Which side of the road was it on?
It was right in the middle. It was crossing. No, it's chicken in this field, and I took a photo of chicken, and I sent it kind of as a joke, and they've chosen it. So it's like, if that doesn't tell you how hard it is to shoot for these things, it's like. Seriously, guys, this awesome view of this city street with beautiful starburst lights and blurred trams and car headlight and beautiful blue hour coloration and and you're not going to use that, but you'll use this photo of chicken, and you'll wonder why it's hard to do these bloody jobs. So that's challenging. So the only thing left to finish up is the video, and that kind of requires them to finalise the exact images they want to use.
So has the video walk and the filming been done?
It's all been done. Yes, just a matter of the editing and including the images and getting all the fonts and stuff in the right spots and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
So that's all done. So I'm supposed to return the lenses this week, but of course with 6 kids I'm not going anywhere, so they're still starting. Mind you, there's 3 of them, and I know where 2 are. Yes, and of course the one I don't know where. I haven't really looked, but there's one that I don't know where it is. Is one of the prototype ones. So yeah, the probably $100,000 lens or whatever it is. Yeah, it's got to be laying around somewhere. Put on a shelf or I don't know. I've got no idea where it is.
It'll be underneath a speaker or
I know. It's like how?
Used as a bookend on the bookcase.
Where the hell could it be? You know? So that's kind of somewhat amusing.
Yeah, right.
But, so we'll maybe I should look for that today. Actually, now it's. No, it's a little concerning because normally you'd see it as you're walking around. Oh, there it is. But no, I've kind of been keeping it out of the corner of my eye look for about 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. Now I must also admit, the other prototype one, I think I know where it is. I haven't actually looked to confirm either. So, yeah, maybe they shouldn't trust me with these things. It's probably, or just acknowledge the fact that if you're sending to me, you're not getting them back.
Yeah, right.
It's a far better way of doing stuff, Yeah. And what have you been up to the last 3 weeks?
Oh, mate, everything. We bought a house.
Really? You bought a house?
Yes.
Wow.
So we went under contract on our place
I saw that.
3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. So that kind of put us in a good position where we could actually go round and start making some genuine offers on places. Yeah. And the thing was, we had 2 houses that we were looking at that we kind of liked. One of them, Kath was pretty keen on. I was kind of on the fence with it. And we'd sort of thrown an offer and they hadn't nibbled at that. And I had said to Kath, maybe whatever we're going to buy just hasn't come on the market yet, Yeah. And she was like, we really need to nail something down before we leave for Alaska because we need that, settling period to be going while we're away. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, we do. So a place that had been on the market for a while, we thought we'd go and have a look at last weekend, went under contract on the Friday night.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Well,
and then suddenly this other place pops up that we hadn't even seen listed. So, I don't know if it had been on the market because we later found out that it had been under contract and had fallen through. And we looked at it and Kath said, have a look at this place, see what you think. I looked at it and I went, yeah, it looks okay. Well, I suppose we can go and have a look at it. But there was no open home scheduled for last Saturday. So I said, ring the agent, see whether we can get in and have a look.
Yeah.
So she rings the agent. The agent says, look, I'll be tied up with open homes till 1 o'clock. I'll ring the vendor and I'll get back to you. So he rings us back and he says, yeah, I can get you in there at 2 o'clock this afternoon. So we went, great.
Nice.
So we walked into this place and I kid you not, both of us we were in the first room. We hadn't even seen the rest of the house and we've just gone, yeah, this is it.
Wow.
Just unbelievable how you just walk in and you just get that feeling like, oh, yeah, this is the
vibe.
One. This is the one.
Yeah. Wow.
And we looked through the rest of the house and it was just like, yep, this ticks all the boxes for both of us. I guess my only reservation with it is it's a small suburban block.
Yeah.
So your neighbours are close by. I ideally would love to be on a bigger block, but we just don't have the funds for the size of block that I would like. But in all other respects, it is great. There is a 4th bedroom, which I will be using as my studio, and the current owner is using it as his computer streaming room as well. So, no, it all works well. It's a beautiful house. Only got its initial occupancy certificate in August of last year.
Jeez.
So it was only built in the last 18 months. The couple who built it have now decided to separate and go separate ways. And so we basically got ourselves a brand new home. Had the building inspection done yesterday. There's nothing wrong with the joint. Yeah, so we're really excited. And,
you should be. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you. So it's been a long, tedious process. As anyone who's ever been through the buying and selling of houses would know, it is not a fun process. So now I'm, dreading the idea of having to pack up this place, but can't wait to be moved into the new place.
Yeah, of course.
So there's all that happening. The last time we spoke, 3 weeks ago, I mentioned that there was a possibility, but no guarantee, that I might end up going out and shooting for Landline, the ABC TV show. Yeah. Which, for those of our listeners outside of Australia, Landline is a show which covers stories of rural significance and interest.
It's all about cows.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cows and ditches and fences.
Or in this case, river red gums.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Next to the fence.
Yeah, that's right.
The river. Yeah.
So, the girl who's doing the story, who's one of our journos in Newcastle, she'd pitched the idea to Landline. They'd said, yes, we love it, go for it. She'd gone out on Monday week ago, so 11, 12 days ago, and the day they went out to shoot, it absolutely bucketed with rain and they couldn't do anything. They got to shoot one interview, which they had to do indoors, which she didn't really love the idea of. Yeah. Because this whole story is about these river red gums and the regeneration program that is underway in the Hunter Valley and so on and so forth. And so she had said to me, we're going to shoot all these interviews on the Monday, but there's a guy that I can't interview until Friday, so I might have to go back out on the Friday. And in the 3 days in between, she came to me and she said, didn't get to shoot anything on Monday because of the rain. Are you still good for Friday? And I'm like, yeah. And she went, great, we're going to have about 4 or 5 interviews to do. I was like, yes. So I had to give myself a crash course in the Panasonic Lumix GH5. Which I'd not used before. And one of the things that they told me was the ABC ships it with some presets saved into the custom memory slots. And generally the principle is shoot on custom setting 1. So I went, okay, so I've got out there and, we started shooting, and one of the things I realised was that in the custom setting, in this first custom slot, they had it set to auto ISO.
Oh.
And I thought, that's a weird thing to do. But I thought, I'll leave it. That's the way ABC likes it shot, then that's the way I'll go, And I'd taken my A7 III with me and my own tripod as well, so I could, maybe set up a second camera angle for a couple of shots.
Yeah.
And of course, with my own camera, I set a fixed ISO and, I let it roll on a couple of shots just as a second angle.
Yeah.
And what I noticed when I got back and actually looked at my footage was that the cloud was moving across the face of the sun.
Of course, yeah.
And, of course, that meant that the shots off my Sony were sometimes dark, sometimes cooked. Yeah. And I thought to myself, that's why they have it set to auto ISO, because that way the camera can just deal with the changes in light if that sort of thing should happen. So that was something I learned.
And you're also dealing with people who don't know anything. The people doing most of the filming have no idea about gear and light and etc. So you have to dumb it down for them. Yep. Yeah,
absolutely. And something else I learned from Romy, the girl who's doing the story, she talked about, and this was obviously something she'd learned in her training as a reporter, they have this concept of tell the story in 5 shots. And it's all about have a couple of close-ups, have some mid-range, have a wide-angle view, and then, maybe something that's a bit more creative or out-of-the-box thinking with regards composition and framing and all that sort of stuff. And that was not a concept I'd ever heard of or encountered before. So that was interesting. But overall, had an absolute ball of it.
You have, because in shoots, that last nude shoot you did, I told you to do exactly the same thing. Yeah. Start wide, get big scene, go closer, close. So it's the same principle all the time, be it photo or video, is capture as many viewpoints of the same thing, but have a system where you always do that. And if you capture that range, you'll never go, I wish I didn't see that sign there. I wish I'd got more of that in, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
If you get into the habit of shooting a bigger the scene as a whole and then narrowing your viewpoints down, it gives you a lot of creativity to work with. So I can certainly see why they do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway,
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it was good. So I had a lot of fun doing it. And Romy said, "Oh, it is so nice to have you along, who is so, passionate and excited about doing this, So she said, you'll probably end up getting tapped on the shoulder for more of this type of stuff. And I'm like, hell yeah, bring it on,
Nice stuff. Good stuff, buddy. Yeah,
so that particular story won't get... I think they're looking at editing through September, and it probably won't go to air until October. So it'll be a little while off.
Just whilst you're away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so to come back to the house thing, we will arrive back in Australia and we will have precisely 2 weeks and 2 days before settlement. We settle on a Tuesday. Man. And within that couple of weeks, we are going to have to pack up this house. And then I'm taking a couple of days off, the Monday and the Tuesday, to facilitate the move between this place and the new place. So
how exciting. So you come back to a whole new life.
Yes.
Come back to a whole new life, just about.
That is awesome. It. Next thing on the list is I have a confession to make, Glyn.
Oh, no, you didn't break it, did you?
I'm a size queen.
Oh, I know you're a size queen, dude. Yeah.
Man, I have been shooting with this 150 to 500 for the last couple of weeks, and oh, man.
What brand of 150 to 500?
Oh, sorry, good point. It is a Tamron 150 to 500 mil lens. Many thanks to the guys at Blonde Robot, the Australian importer. What? Are we not allowed to say that?
Yeah, you are.
Oh.
To me, mate, for organising it for you.
And to Glenn Lavender for organising it, yes. I was getting to it.
You've got to get your priorities right. First up, get the brand name right. Then, all power and all thanks to Glenn, and also Tamron Australia and Blonde Robot Importing.
So I've been playing with this for the last couple of weeks and just absolutely love it. Having never shot with anything longer than 200 mil. Oh, actually, that's not true. Back in my early days, I had a 300 mil kit lens, but that was on APS-C, so really it's about the same as a 200 mil. Yeah, and to suddenly have 500 mil, it just...
Hang on, so you had a 300 mil on an APS-C, 300 mil focal length.
Would be the same as 200 mil on full frame.
Okay, so it's like 18 to 300 something, was it? Oh, no, 300 mil fixed, you said, was it?
No, it wasn't fixed. It was a 70 to 300 zoom. It was like a kit lens on my old Konica Minolta 7.
No, then that would be a 70 to 300 on a full frame camera.
Why?
So that'd be because that's the way it works, dude. Unless you've got like an 18 to 55 or 55 to 250, the 70 to 300 for Konica Minoltas were made for their film cameras. So therefore it was made for 35 mil sensors. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
So it would have been more like 450 mil.
Right. Okay. But anyway, never shot on 500 mil before, and that's absolutely
that is 50 mil more than the other one you used to use it. Yeah. It does look and feel very different though with a full frame sensor and everything.
Yeah.
So why do you like it?
I just think having that reach is fantastic. If you've never had that sort of reach before, it's just great to be able to zoom in on stuff that you normally can't get close to. Sadly, I went down to the beach last Sunday with it, hoping to see some people surfing.
Oh, well, so I hope you see some people what?
Ocean was flat as a tack, and there was not one single person in 2 kilometres of beach. Not one out there on a surfboard. I just ended up, just shooting a couple of people walking along the beach and shot some wildflowers that were growing on the dunes. And yeah, but I don't know, just really like it. And even though 6.7 doesn't sound particularly wide aperture, at the long end, at 500 mil, you still get really nice bokeh with.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
With that.
Especially when you're shooting close up to stuff.
Yeah.
They're a hella fun lenses to use. They really are.
I mean, and hefty. I'm going to look like Schwarzenegger by the time I get back from Alaska. But
the ability to completely change how you see the world can't be understated.
Right.
And so being able to look through a lens like that and all of a sudden everything in the world looks different, how great is that for a creative person?
Yeah.
And that's worth the price of admission alone,
Just as an example, I went to the area between Terrigal and Wamberal, which is this long sort of curved beach, like I said, a couple of kilometres between the two. And when I was at Wamberal, I looked back towards Terrigal, and at 500 mil, I could bring in the Terrigal Surf Club, which was over a kilometre away.
Yeah.
And, and I could see individual people on the beach in the foreground in front of the Terrigal Surf Club. And it's just, that's the kind of view that you couldn't get that on a 200 mil, at least not without a massive crop.
Yeah.
And even if you did,
have the same effect anyway.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. Exactly. So just, things like that. It was just... Yeah, a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to Alaska. It's going to be great.
A lot of people think that cropping gives you the same effect, but it's not remotely the same effect.
No, it is not.
So not even slightly. A friend of mine, she's been up in Alaska for the last couple of months, is running photo tours, and she posted a little iPhone footage the other day. And I thought of you because there she's got this beautiful lake in front of her and massive mountain range on the other side of the lake. And then on the other side of the lake, there's like a little spit of land. At the very end of the spit of land, there's black bear just standing there. I mean, it's like you couldn't have scripted this bear to walk out to a better place at a better time.
Gorgeous.
I mean, you just think and of course, it was only an iPhone shot she was shooting, but it looked amazing on that. So
right.
Well, it was iPhone video. It wasn't even a photo.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what the photo's going to look like. You know? But she's been up there, shot amazing photos of whales and
awesome,
flying over glaciers. She spends about 3 months a year, I think it is, up there running photo tours.
Yeah, nice.
She has. So if anyone wants to a photo tour to Alaska, the Magic of Alaska photo tour, it's called.
Nice.
Lisa Langell, Langell, and
beautiful.
Looking into. Lovely lady.
Awesome.
But just got over a battle of cancer a couple of years ago.
Oh,
girl.
that's no good.
Yeah. No.
So we leave in 8 days, and I cannot wait. I'm really getting excited now.
I can imagine. Yeah,
I've been excited about it the whole time, but the closer you get to it, the more it really starts to. It's like, I'm counting the sleeps now.
I've always been a bit weird.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, I thought I'd just say that. No, I've always been a bit weird that the most fun of almost any trip I've ever done.
Yeah.
The most fun is that leading week before you go.
Right.
Not the actual... Being there, I don't know whether I'm a bit of a sociopath and places don't leave me cold, but it's like, I'm here. It's expected. It's just like I'm doing it.
I think is it because it goes from the fantasy that you have in your mind to suddenly the reality, and maybe the reality is not always living up to the fantasy.
The reality can be great. It just doesn't excite me on the same level as the build up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. The only place I've ever been to where the feeling of being there was
as good as the lead up,
or felt something was Ayers Rock, Uluru.
Yeah, right.
Where there was a resonance or something that felt this place is pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
But the rest, and I've been to some pretty amazing places and it's still, doesn't leave me cold. And it's not I'm not enjoying myself. It's just that it doesn't give me that wow. Oh my God, I'm doing it. And and I've always think maybe it's just I just expect to be doing it. So I don't. This is what I do. So therefore, why get excited about it?
Yeah, right.
It's weird. Yeah, but it's good. It's good though from a photographer's point of view, because sometimes that overexcitement of being at a place can put you under. What do I shoot? What do I? Yeah, if you're a little bit more disassociated, you can be a little bit more clinical about picking out the interesting stuff and finding and not trying to shoot absolutely everything, but trying to filter out the best opportunities. And I think that could be why what happens. It could be that mindset of work clicks in and seeing and the analytical side of stuff more than the look where I am.
Yeah, right.
Thing. Yeah, it's possible.
Since 2005, Shutters Inc. has been a labour of love. But beyond the time required to produce it, there is also a financial commitment. If you find value in the podcast and would like to help keep the servers running, hit up the Patreon link, which is in the show notes. Even a couple of dollars a month will help. Much appreciated. Now, back to the podcast.
So with all of the aforementioned things going on. Obviously the Alaska tour, packing up, moving out of this house, moving into a new house. This will be the last podcast for probably 6 weeks minimum, probably more like 7 or 8 weeks, because the 2 weeks after I get back, I'm not going to be able to spend time on a podcast because we're going to be packing this house up.
Yeah.
And then after we get into the new house, there's obviously going to be a little bit of time required to set up my room, my space, and, get set up. So this
So you're going on holiday and giving the listeners a holiday as well.
That's exactly right. The only other thing that I wanted to throw in this week was I saw a video for a really cool tripod, and I must have seen this about 3 weeks ago, and now I don't even remember what it looked like, so I'm going to actually have to open up the video. And
well, you sent it to me, and I did what I did with all your emails. I didn't look at it.
You ignored it?
Yeah, didn't look at it. Yeah.
Why have I don't want to listen to the audio. I just want to look at this tripod. I can't remember.
I don't want to watch the advert.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a ProMaster.
Is it?
I know ProMaster well. I know those guys.
The ProMaster Chronicle.
I've been to their main warehouse.
That's right. This thing breaks apart into everything. So you can use it as a monopod. You can use it as a little desk tripod.
Yeah, don't.
Why?
Oh, they're a nightmare. You lose bits. Things fall off.
You were just saying you oh, okay.
Oh,
you just said you knew the brand. You didn't say you liked the brand, right?
I know the brand well. So the brand it's a home brand, basically.
For who?
For the IPI, the Independent Photo Finishers. I don't know what the acronym stands for. But it's basically a huge group of US stores have their own brand. And that's to allow them to make a little bit more on the product. I'm surprised they're doing a Kickstarter, which is interesting. But yeah, ProMaster, they do everything. They do everything from memory cards to bags to lighting gear to and usually pretty decent stuff.
Okay.
They used to have their own lenses. Lenses were supplied by Tamron and rebadged Tamron lenses.
Right.
So I did a tour around a bunch of their stores. One of their head guys took me around the west coast of America and east coast of America, I should say. And they're from New York down and looked at some of their stores, went to their warehouse, all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
And 15 or so years ago, maybe more.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, a long time
but
ago.
Anyway, I just remember seeing this video and going, "Oh, that's really cool." That it has this little desk tripod that is part of the center stem that you can take out. So if you just need to do a little desk tripod setup, you can without having to use the whole tripod. I can't remember all the features that were in it. I know I watched the video.
It's got a handheld stabilizer, so it'd be interesting to see how
Yeah. So anyway, I'll chuck the link in the show notes for anyone that wants to check it out. So yeah.
Yeah, I just find from past experience, tripods that do too many things,
right?
Especially if it has lots of moving parts or parts that can be separated from the main body.
Yep.
And this is probably more a reflection on me than other maybe. If let's say it would probably never happen to someone who's a bit anal, like I don't know you. Because they'd be so pedantic about keeping every piece together.
Yeah.
But I I've got 3 lenses given to me, and I kind of know. I know where one is for sure because I can see it from here. The other 2, one of them I'm kind of sure I know where it is. So I mean that's a big lens, Bruce.
It may not still be in the same postcode.
Exactly. So imagine a little something. I mean, I'm sponsored by 3-legged thing tripods, and their tripods have. I'm forever taking it back to the warehouse and say, can you put this bit back on? Can you put one of those bits? Because the things fall, I lose stuff. Yeah. I was only there a couple of weeks ago and they had to kind of rebuild the entire thing, cannibalise it from broken ones that got out the back.
They probably just said, look here, Glenn, we'll give you a new one. Throw these parts in the bin.
I was out in a shoot for this project and the centre column came out of the middle of the tripod and I couldn't get it back in.
Right.
A sunset's going. I couldn't shoot because I couldn't put the. It almost went in the river. I almost gave it a big flying heave ho. I'm just always a bit wary about having too many bits that pull apart from everything else.
So, what can you tell me about Canon RF?
Well, I was just interested because we've talked in the past about how Nikon lenses are now coming out. Well, people are coming out with lenses for Nikon's Z mount and the Fuji mount and all this sort of stuff, and that nothing's ever been. Canon have never licensed
the third-party mount
to be open.
Right.
Well, in an interview, they said they're certainly open to third-party manufacturers making lenses, but on a lens-by-lens basis.
What?
I know. So, yeah, we'll give you permission to use our mount but you have to tell us exactly what the lens is. I mean, so in other words, you've got to give away all your proprietary information to us. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So there might be a chance. But the biggest thing was this massive Tamron news I've got for you.
Yeah.
The CEO of Tamron Japan has resigned amid an investigation into his use of company funds for personal gain.
Oh.
Yeah. So
was he buying Bitcoin?
Worse. Well, not worse.
Oh, no.
He was taking a third-party woman, as the host described in the article, I think, a third-party woman on a business trip and claimed personal expenses as company expenses.
Ooh.
And upon investigating, third-party woman and him had been eating and drinking with third-party woman several times a month for at least 5 years at Tamron's expense.
Wow.
Third-party woman. And so, yeah, the kind of... So I don't know whether he's been travelling with third-party woman, but I thought that was... But so, and of course, I had to go straight to the comment section, and there's not many, but yeah. But third-party woman, that's putting it diplomatically. Yeah. And then someone said, there's got to be a country and western song lyric in there somewhere. Third-party woman, third-party woman.
Absolutely.
My third-party woman left me. What a it's just... Yeah.
I love the fictitious Peter Green lyric. Third-party woman got me so blind I can't see. You're a third-party woman trying to make a devil out of me.
Third-party woman. I keep getting an American Woman song in my head, but third-party woman. Yeah. Oh, dear.
It's gorgeous.
I know. But, and then someone said, the president and CEO can't afford to buy his own drinks? Come on. And then someone replied, third-party women cost a lot to keep happy. Oh, dear. Was it a third-party woman or his third-party woman or the woman he met at a third party? So you've got to have fun with that. So go on, Mr. Tamron, you've done yourself proud. I just love the terminology, third-party woman.
That is awesome.
Just brilliant. So that was it. That's all I got for grappling news, because I knew we'd talk a bit about your use of the big lens. And,
yeah.
I have been using, I must say, I'm not sure if I mentioned it last podcast, a couple of roto lights from the brand Roto Light.
You did mention those.
So I've been having a bit of a fiddle with those of late.
Nice.
But as soon as I can stop coughing and my lungs out and my kids aren't sick anymore, I'm going to start actually taking some photos. So
nice. Maybe
have some news on those by next podcast.
Excellent.
If I don't put them in a drawer somewhere and forget where they are or whatever.
I forgot. I strapped them to the front of the car.
That's right. I needed new headlights. Bloody marvellous. Yeah, those driving lights. And
it's just a bugger when the batteries go flat at 3 a.m.
And the good thing is you can, from inside the car on the app, you can change it to whatever colour you want. Oh, yeah.
Can you have them alternating blue and red?
Well, you can make them. Yeah, well, that's a good idea, isn't it? Yeah. You can make them flash like lightning as well, which is really confuse oncoming traffic, wouldn't it?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, dear. Well, my friend, you go and have a bloody marvellous holiday.
I will. I will. Before we sign off, I will very quickly say Paul Sutton did send me a bunch of links. I will quickly read out the titles. I, for one, welcome my AI overlords. $300 for a day's work as a pro photographer. Yeah, that sounds about right, if you're lucky. World Cup of Cycling and the Tour de France. The oldest pictures from NYC and the first surviving photo from Chernobyl. Interesting. Sorry, Paul, I have had so much on my plate, I've not had a chance to look at any of those stories, but I will put the links in the show notes for anyone that wants to check them out. All right, mate.
Well,
you enjoy your 6 or 8 week break.
Bon voyage.
Thank you, mate.
Bon nuit.
Yes.
Bon, and all the other bons.
Yeah, and thank you for the lens.
That's right, dude. I hope you get some great shots with it, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to criticising the crap out of them when they
I
get back.
know that you will.
Now, here's my bestest possible wish for you.
What's that?
May you take so many good photos, even I can't critique them. They are so good that there's nothing can be said about them to improve upon them.
I certainly hope so.
May you have that type of trip.
Thank you.
And looking at how hot it is up there at the moment, so absolutely blisteringly hot, you're probably not going to have too much problem with rain.
Vancouver is certainly feeling the heat at the moment, but Anchorage is not. So Alaska will be sort of 10 to 15 degree days and, pretty chilly nights. But yes, I think once we get back down to Vancouver, things will be a lot warmer. So
I had a friend of mine escape the desert heat of Palm Springs the other day.
Right.
Because it was 120 degrees Fahrenheit that day was going to be.
Wow.
So he went to Los Angeles for a few days and got hit by a hurricane.
Oof.
Then an earthquake.
Yeah.
Oh, this is one day.
Wow.
Hurricane, earthquake, and then they had to evacuate the hotel for a tsunami warning.
Wow. Wow.
If it's not the end of times, I don't know what is.
Yeah, right.
Crazy
Sheesh.
stuff.
Anyway.
So may you not have any tsunami, hurricane, earthquake days.
I certainly hope not. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, all right, mate. Well, look
Have a
after
great
yourself,
time.
and we will
I will, mate.
talk to you in a couple of months.
Absolutely.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody.
Bye.
You've been listening to Shutters Inc. For questions, comments, and feedback, email theboys@shuttersincpodcast.com.